But the rest of you, one word. Give me one word to describe this campaign.
Leadership.
Incredible.
Inspiring.
Certainly energetic.
Motivational.
Motivational?
Would you look at that? A completely healthy family sitting together to be interviewed. Donald, his loving wife Melania, his 2 sons and his daughter. This definitely won't fall apart a few years later. All jokes aside, just look at Donald. He just looks surprised that they even sat there with him. But it looks like Trump has been losing it recently because Donnie Jr. and Eric Trump have been out spoiling their perfect family image recently and bringing shame to the already disgraced Trump name. What do you think the reason could be for these 2 clowns to pick fights with each other so very publicly? And what does Ole Padre have to say about this entire situation? Let's check out the latest dumpster fire that the Trumps have set ablaze to keep themselves warm. Old Trump 1 and Trump 2 have been trading blows with each other on Instagram. Donald Jr. has even gone as far as to call his brother a homophobic slur. Talk about finding a horrible way to stick to the theme of Pride Month. It's of no surprise, the 2 of them are completely off their rockers and everyone knows this. Donald Jr. especially is known for his manic, drug-induced monologues that make absolutely zero sense. If you want an example of what we are talking about, we can show you, but fair warning, you will lose a few brain cells. Hey, but let's at least make this fun and play a game of guess what Donald Jr. is trying to say.
Our people, Trump was effective in negotiation because he's actually been in a negotiation before. It wasn't like, hey, trillions of dollars are on the line. Let me take a crack at this. Let's see what happens. Homeland Security person said 1,000 would be like an invasion. 1,000 was far too much. It was an unsustainable level. A few short years later, after having the disaster number and go ×5, and the Republicans are fine with this. Not all of them. Guys like J.D. Vance fight for it, but that's it basically in the Senate. There's probably 1 or 2 others, but we can't name them. Lower income, wages going up, et cetera, minor things like that. The things that we promise our people but never actually deliver on except for Trump. Now I'm watching, Senator Langford of Oklahoma. Amazingly enough, this is going to work out great for his gubernatorial campaign. Working out a deal where they allow 5,000. It's lunacy.
Any guesses as to what Donald Jr. is trying to convey here? Got you stumped. Don't worry, we are as well. He sounds like a poor attempt by some third-rate version of ChatGPT trying to cook up a monologue that crams all the info he has in his brain into every single sentence. If Donnie Jr. claims that he wasn't on drugs in this clip, then you can be sure that the sun is going to rise from the west tomorrow. Now you might be thinking, hey, what does he sound like then when he's actually sober for once? Although catching Don Jr. sober is as rare as seeing an elf prancing through the forest, there are some moments where you can catch him sober. Take a look at what he thinks is important and worth talking about when he isn't on one of his drug-induced soliloquies.
Really big news in the oppressed lives of famous Hollywood celebrities. Apparently Lizzo is oppressed. I didn't realize that being really famous, being a darling of the media, being worth like $12 million, definitely not missing any meals. Didn't realize that made you oppressed in America today. Imagine how oppressed someone who lost their jobs because they wouldn't get vaccinated. Imagine how oppressed that person is. Imagine being targeted by the IRS or the FBI. Because if Lizzo's oppressed, folks, I'm going to say this, and someone's going to clip without the detail and try to own me with this. But if Lizzo's oppressed, then so am I, right? In this world, I've got the FBI breaking down our doors with the hostage rescue team at my family house. If Lizzo's oppressed, so is Donald Trump Jr., folks. Give me a break. This is the insanity of the left, right? Again, I didn't realize being a multimillionaire, going around on private jets, taking photo shoots in a bikini while being north of 300 pounds and being this is healthy. This is the new beauty. Being a media darling like that, going around in mansions and winning awards, that makes you oppressed if you're a leftist today in America. Think of how insane that is. Is there anyone less oppressed?
You gotta give it to old Donnie boy. He has the remarkable ability to jump from one topic to the next without a care for the word continuity. It's crazy how he took the opinion of Lizzo, who feels oppressed, went to vaccines, and jumped to the amazing conclusion that if Lizzo, a black woman who is plus size, can be oppressed, so can he. Truly remarkable work, Donnie. Keep it up and you just might make Dad proud. But hey, even if he doesn't make it as a politician, maybe he can become a graphic designer for his dad. Show this pic on his account. Now if that doesn't make you feel Republican and a proud Trump supporter down to your bones, I don't know what will. Maybe all of this has given you a very good idea as to why Junior is not anywhere close to his dad. It's not because he is keeping a distance, but rather because Dad is keeping an arm's distance from him. Well, what about dear old Eric then? Is he just a poor soul who has been targeted by his mean older brother? No, not really. Eric has been his dad's unwavering banner of support since day one of the hush money conviction trials, and never fails to back his dad up if someone tries to tarnish his ever-gracious father's name.
The entire DA's office is lining that courtroom. The only thing that Alvin Bragg wants to do, only thing that Letitia James wants to do.
Eric is so enthusiastic about supporting his father that he even makes sure his dad wins at things that don't matter, like the corn kernel vote.
Is criminally prosecute Donald Trump, and they're doing it for one reason. They're doing it because they have a political vendetta.
Eric seems to be like that piece of gum your shoe picks up from the sidewalk. Can you believe out of the entire family that Trump has, only Eric showed up for the hush money trials? Not even Melania, Trump's wife, wanted anything more to do with him.
Melania not showing up for a single day of this trial.
Thank you very much.
Where's Melania?
So it seems like the only support that Trump is getting is from the kids he doesn't want there, and the golden child that he loves, Ivanka, has been distancing herself more and more from her father as the days go by. Ivanka used to be the face of the Trump name the first time around for her father's campaign. She and her husband Jared Kushner, former senior advisor to Trump, used to go around the nation campaigning for her father and his political slogan, "Make America Great Again." But it seems like this time around, seeing the damage that her father has done, she has probably understood that her father's idea of greatness involves ripping down the very institutions that this country was built on. Donald has gone the sympathy route, as he always does, and told them that it hurt them immensely to help them the first time. I think it would hurt anyone if they tried and worked for you, Donald. Ivanka has realized that there is more to life than being her father's right-hand man and running around for his needs. She stated in one of her Instagram stories that as much as she loves her father, she's going to take the back seat and focus on her family and raising her kids. Come on, Ivanka. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that your father is a bad influence on those you love. It would have actually been a surprise if she started supporting him again like she once did. You want to know what the saddest thing about the Trump family is? It is the fact that it's legal trouble that's holding them together so that they don't lose face. This trial has had an astounding effect on the family, and it is probably not in the way you think. First, let's look at what each of the Trumps is up to. Donnie is losing his grip on reality progressively faster as the days go by. Eric is living in denial about his father's greatness, while Ivanka is trying to disconnect from the dumpster fire of a family that she was raised in. But what makes this entire ordeal hilarious is the fact that all three of them can be seen standing in support of their father throughout this trial. The three siblings even went beyond expectations and stood for him as witnesses.
We are following new developments this morning at the civil fraud trial here in New York against Donald Trump, his company, and two of his sons. Don Jr. is scheduled to take the stand today, followed by his brother Eric, and next week their sister Ivanka and Donald Trump himself are expected to testify under oath.
It's great how two of the three siblings weren't even remotely present throughout Trump's trial and just magically decided to stand as witnesses for their father. Sounds like old Donald is pulling familial ties to make his kids do their dad a solid and make them stand as witnesses. Too bad he ended up convicted. All he did was waste their time and efforts. You would think that the conviction would change Trump for the better, make him more calculated and concise, but nope. He seems to have adopted his enemy's tactics and just completely went off his rockers. Wow. He just arrived in Wisconsin and began waving to his large crowd of, wait a minute, no one there. Who is Trump even waving to? The driver? For those who don't know, legal cases take a lot of time, money, and patience, and it seems like Trump has run out of the first two. He apparently arrived at this Cuban restaurant called Versailles and offered to pay everyone's bill. But I guess he saw his bank account dwindling and got cold feet. I just feel bad for the restaurant owner who probably pulled out the expensive meat to serve. I'm pretty sure it's antics like these that are prompting Melania to stay away from him. It's as plain as day that Melania wants nothing to do with Trump, but it seems Trump wants everything to do with her. He still uses her name to stir up sympathy and make it seem like it's the stress of her husband undergoing a trial that is making her stay away.
But a lot of people don't. But it's tougher. I think it's probably, in many ways, it's tougher on my family than is in me. You know,
how's Melania doing?
She's fine, but I think it's very hard for her. I mean,
He's even sneaky enough to make it seem like everything is well and good between them by wishing her a happy birthday from court. It's a slimy and disgusting move to make when you're undergoing trial for falsifying business records to cover your affair with an adult actress, Donald. It's becoming more apparent to people around the state that Donald isn't the caring, loving father figure that he claims to be, and the doting husband he portrays himself to be. I mean, would any responsible father raise a son who is this unaware of his surroundings?
I should have worn makeup.
Sigh. Yes, Don. You should have worn makeup. Clown makeup to suit that behavior of yours. Well, dear viewer, if you've decided to stick with us this far, make sure to comment down below and let us know what you think the future of the Trump family will be.